If you're looking for a way to treat the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, sagging skin, or scars, you've come to the right place. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the drpen Hydra Pen H5 microneedling device. Hey guys, welcome to the Skin Code by Cody, where I talk about all things skincare, beauty devices, wellness, and professional in-clinic treatments. If that's something you're interested in, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. If you've already done your research and you've decided that you want to buy a drpen microneedling device, I'll include my affiliate details below. Microneedling works by the needle penetrating the skin. This in turn stimulates the production of collagen. That collagen production is really what helps reduce the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, scars, and even helps to tighten sagging skin. What I find really exciting about the Hydra Pen H5 is, in addition to microneedling, it also uses EMS, which is electrical muscle stimulation. Now this really helps to stimulate the muscles in the skin, which helps to lift and tighten the skin. In addition, it also uses product infusion. So I'll show you in a minute, but each microneedling cartridge actually allows you to enter a serum. So then when you're performing your microneedling treatment, it actually helps that skincare penetrate the skin into the deeper layers of the dermis. In a moment, I'm going to take you through how to perform a treatment, but as with any device, it's really important to carefully check and follow the instructions outlined from the manufacturer. Also to check any contraindications just to make sure this treatment is completely safe for you. And the last thing is, these cartridges are single use only. So I do encourage you, if you do decide to buy a microneedling device, make sure that you buy plenty of the cartridges as well so that you've got enough for a series of treatments. Okay, so I thought I would quickly just show you what comes in the box with the Hydra Pen H5. So you've got a cradle here. So the cradle is obviously for the pen, so you can just sit the pen in the cradle for easy storage. Now I can't remember exactly how many cartridges. I think there were a couple of cartridges in the box, but as I mentioned before, you definitely want to purchase some extra cartridges as they are single use. Now the cartridges themselves look like this. So in here you can actually unscrew the cartridge, and that's where you put in the serum that you want to use during the treatment. And then I'll show you how to put that into the actual pen itself. Simply pushes in like that, and then there's a cap to secure that in place. Now this is a nano needling head. There is also a square, so this is a round nano needling head. There is also a square nano needling head. When I use the actual micro needling, so when I want to actually needle the skin, I use the H12, so that means it has 12 needles. There is also a 24 needle and a 36 pin needle cartridge. So if you're wanting to do larger areas at once, then I do encourage you to use those sorts of treatment heads once you're comfortable with the device. But the nano needling heads themselves are really about that product absorption. So it's not about microneedling per se, it's really about getting that product penetrating into the deeper layers of the dermis. In terms of the product infusion, I do encourage you to have a look at the serums that drpen have on their website. So I have been absolutely loving this Peachaboo Peptide Complex serum. Has some fantastic ingredients, and again, when you're doing this when you're using this in conjunction with the Hydra Pen H5, it just makes sure these ingredients get to where they need to be in the skin to give you the best results possible. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a treatment. So again, the first thing you need to do is obviously wash your face so that you have completely clean, dry skin. That is absolutely critical for microneedling. Now, the next thing is with the pen itself. When you're doing microneedling, it totally depends on each individual and your pain threshold. Some people are fine just microneedling, they don't have an issue. Some people prefer to use a numbing cream. I kind of sometimes do use a numbing cream, but it's definitely not necessary. So I'd say about half the time I use a numbing cream, half the time I don't. Just depends how I'm feeling. But again, with the numbing cream, you can just get it over the counter at a chemist. You usually leave that, depending on the strength you get at your chemist, usually you just leave that on the skin for around 20-25 minutes and then wash it off. So again, you just want to make sure it's completely off your skin before you start the treatment. I'm not actually doing a treatment on myself today as I am filming for the day, but it's pretty easy. So as I showed you earlier, the cartridge, simply put your the serum in this little reservoir, and you push that into the center, and you'll hear that clicking sound. Then this white cap just goes over the top, and that really secures that into place. From there, you hold down the power button to turn the device on. Now the speed, it's got 6 speeds, so it's on level 1 right there. You'll hear it vibrating. You can go up to level 6. So that is really about the speed at which the needles are going in and out of the skin. So when you're new to it, start with a slower speed and you can work your way up. Just like with the EMS, so that electrical muscle stimulation. So that has 4 levels. So I would suggest starting with level 1 when you're wanting to use that treatment. You will feel muscles in your face twinge and twitch a little bit, so it can be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but you will get used to that over time. The other thing that is really important is obviously the depth of the needle. So up here, you can actually twist this blue part up here to whatever needle depth. So when you're new to microneedling, maybe start at 1/4 of a millimeter until you're really comfortable with that, and then you can work your way up over time. One thing I will say is one of the most common questions about microneedling is around, well, what depth do I need to go to get results? The reality is you will get some benefit at any level. Even at 1/4 of a millimeter, you're still really helping to get that product deeper into the skin. So that will definitely help and give you a result. But if you are looking at the more dramatic effects of collagen production, then you really need to be aiming for a depth of 1 millimeter. Now, you can get other cartridges, other microneedling devices, which drpen sell, that go deeper than 1 millimeter. So I've got an old one, I think it's an A7, and that goes much deeper than 1 millimeter. But it does depend, the depth is really about what position of your face that you're really treating. So for example, I'll generally do about 1 millimeter around my eyes, but on my cheeks, but on my forehead, I'll usually only go to about 1/2 millimeter because this part of my skin is a little bit thinner. And if I go to 1 millimeter, it's just a bit too much for that area for me. But again, it totally depends on your skin and what you're really looking to achieve. As the needle enters the skin at a depth of 1 millimeter, or whatever depth that you choose to use, the EMS technology can then penetrate even deeper into the skin. So it doesn't, it doesn't restrict the results to that 1 millimeter depth, because you do have that added technology which will provide you an even better result. If you're new to microneedling, as you perform the treatment, so after the treatment, you might find there's some blood on your face. That's why it is at the end of the treatment, obviously you just gently wash your face with some lukewarm water. You definitely don't want to be using hot water on your face. And a lot of people are a little concerned about they've just used this serum, and this serum has gone onto their face, but now their face is kind of got a little spots of blood as well as the serum, and they're not really sure what to do. So it is important to then wash your face at the end of the treatment. And don't worry about that serum. You're not wasting the serum. You've actually, doing this treatment, you've actually allowed that serum to penetrate that deeper layer of skin. So the serum is already where it needs to be, and the excess that's sitting on top of the skin isn't required. So you can just wash that off, and just I do suggest using a really simple skincare routine for a few days after a treatment. So you really want to be avoiding retinols, tretinoin, and vitamin C, all that sort of stuff. You just want really calming ingredients on the skin. And obviously, as always, an SPF is absolutely critical. So if you're going out, even if you're not going out during the day, it's really important to use a sunscreen. Now, in terms of the results that I noticed using the H5, so as I indicated earlier, I've been microneedling for a really long time. I did stop for about a year just because I use so many different devices and technologies and all sorts of stuff. It's really hard for me to maintain a consistent approach using one particular device. But even though I'd stopped throughout that year, that really gave me a great baseline to then start using a new device with the H5. And what I loved about this device really was that EMS and that product infusion, because that is not something I've used before with microneedling. And I feel like that gave an excellent result because, like many of you, I spend a good amount of money on really quality skincare, so I want to make sure that I'm getting the maximum benefit out of those products. So using that serum, the peptide complex serum, Peekaboo is the brand, from Dr. Pen, that really gave me a great result. So I really noticed a reduction in some wrinkles around my eyes. Look, I certainly don't expect that there will be a day when I have no wrinkles at all, but I certainly noticed that the appearance of those wrinkles definitely reduced. Same on my forehead. I do have one, it's very hard to see on camera now because I've done a bunch of treatments over the years to really treat this one wrinkle on my forehead, but I do have a little fixed wrinkle on an angle above my left eyebrow. And I did notice that doing these treatments regularly really helped to reduce the appearance of that line as well. And I did notice a good amount of tightening benefit really through this bottom half of my lower face. I just noticed, being consistent, that monthly consistency with these treatments really helped to tighten up that area. Now, microneedling is not like, you're not going in, you're not getting a facelift, you're not, doing Botox and fillers and other treatments where you get an instant result. It is something where consistency is key. So, you might do the treatment today and you may not see benefits for a month or two once you really start doing the treatments consistently. But that's because that collagen production takes time. And as that collagen does start to produce at a faster rate, then you'll notice those improvements in your skin. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you haven't already, I would love for you to like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions at all, please comment below. Or if you'd like to reach out to me directly, you can find me on Instagram at The Skin Code by Cody. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.